I'm gonna start over. Hi friends, it's me, Kimberly McAlindin, and I am here to chat about my knitting. Some of you will notice that I changed the name of my YouTube channel to Knit a Rainbow with Kimberly McAlindin, and I'm just really excited. I'm excited to come on here and talk to you about my knitting. I'm excited to show you the things that I'm working on, and I look forward to, once I get to be 1,000 subscribers, then I can do lives where we can interact with each other. And really, that is what I really miss. And I thought to myself, well, I have a YouTube channel, let's get going on this. So I'm gonna show you all the stuff that I'm working on. I'm gonna talk about things that go on with my job at Do You Knit? And I'm really excited. I'm excited to start this up again. So today is June 17th, 2021, and I'm just really excited to be behind the camera and to share the joy that I feel when I am knitting. And I'll tell you what happened. So today at where I work at my job, Do You Knit in Westfield, New Jersey, which we're open now after being closed for COVID, so come and visit us Tuesdays through Friday from 10 to 2 Eastern Standard Time. So somebody came in today, hi Luann, and I think it was Luann. So she was primarily a shawl knitter, and she was looking to branch out into knitting a sweater. And well, let me tell you, Helen will tell you, I was so excited when she came in. And so the first question, I know a lot of times when you're transitioning from an accessory knitter to a sweater knitter, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So what I wanted to share, this little tidbit, was the first thing I asked her was, did she want a pullover or a cardigan? And she wanted a pullover. And then I asked her if she wanted it to be knit from the bottom up or from the top down. And she said top down. And then I said, what weight of yarn would you like to knit it in? And she was looking for a thicker weight because this was her first sweater and she didn't want it to take forever. So in sweater terms, that would be a DK or a worsted. So we have the most beautiful DK yarns at Do You Knit right now. So I thought to myself, well, why not offer one of my patterns, which here's my little here's a little plug for me. I suggested the Knit a Rainbow sweater. And what better sweater to talk about on the Knit a Rainbow YouTube channel than the Knit a Rainbow sweater. So the Knit a Rainbow sweater right now until the end of June 2021 is 30% off on my Ravelry with the code Love is Love, and I'm celebrating Pride Month. So go on over and get the pattern if you'd like. I'll put a link to it in the description box below. And also, while I'm gonna just take this time here while I'm asking you to do something, if you could hit that subscribe button and like the video, and once we get to 1,000 subscribers, then I can absolutely interact with you, which is what I really am looking forward to doing. So this version of the Knit a Rainbow I did in Hudson and West. This is their worsted yarn. The gauge of the pattern is 4.5 stitches to the inch. So really it's easy to get with a DK or with a worsted. And here it is. It is it's knit top down in the round. There's no seams. There's a really cool band, a slip stitch band here. A little bit up on the top, it is my favorite, which is a raglan. So it means it has 4 points, and that's where all the increasing is done. and it is a very, very straightforward pattern. So the original one that I made for my 50th birthday was, I sent it to my sister. She loved it. She loved the colors. It was one-of-a-kind colors that Cake Wool, my girl Alyssa, she made a color for me for my 50th birthday, which was in September of 2020. So I designed the pattern. We had a big, podcast over at Do You Knit. Karen was very kind to do that, and we had my special color for sale then, but we don't have it anymore, but that's okay, because there's lots of other yarns that you can use. The original pattern used slub yarn and a fingering yarn held together. And so when you hold two fingerings together, you get DK weight, right? So so I was looking through, we just got some brand new wools from Cake Wool, or brand new yarns, and I thought to myself, why not knit another one during Pride Week? So once I finish my current whips, I'm going to start a new one, and I would love for all of you to join me. Write in the comments if you do purchase the pattern, if you're going to do a short sleeve version or a long sleeve version, because I want to make a short sleeve version now because I think it would be fun to wear it. I've been loving my short sleeve sweaters, and after this first rejoin of coming to you and talking to you, I'm going to start showing all of my short sleeve sweaters for the summer, the things that I wear. So check out this yarn from Cake Wool. This is what I'm going to make my next sweater in, and the type of sweater, the type of yarn is merino, cashmere, and nylon, and that's called an MCN for those of you that don't know that. And the brand is Cake Wool. This base is called Dough, and it is exclusive to Do You Knit. So you have to call Do You Knit to get it. And I'm so excited. I paid for 5 skeins, and I'm excited. So I might make it short sleeve. I think I'm gonna make it short sleeve. So it's DK weight. It should go really quick, and we'll see if I get that done when I come to you in the next couple weeks, when I come back, because we have some stuff going on here with my family. So I won't be here next week, but then the following week I'm planning on putting up another video twice a month, or maybe 3 times a month. It all depends. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm just dipping my toes in the water, and we'll see what happens. So here is the one color version. I wear this one color version all the time, all winter. I absolutely love it. It needs to be de-pilled, but once you de-pill a sweater, it won't pill again in the same spot. So that's a cool thing to know. So that is my next project, which is here. But let's talk about my works in progress. So Karen got these great yarns in from I think it's Art Yarns. Yes, and we have it's like a beautiful mohair, and so I decided to do a store sample. So I'm using the mohair, and look at the colors in this. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. I love how the colors are gonna end with these moody colors. Isn't that pretty? So that's how it's gonna end. I have like 2 more repeats to do, and then I can block it and bring it into the shop. I had to take out a little bit of these colors because I had just so much. There's over 600 yards on this skein. So I can't wait to show this to all of you as a finished object. And it should be soon, within the next couple days. The pattern that I'm using is called Rainbow Mountain. Now, I didn't do this on purpose, but isn't that crazy that I'm talking about rainbows and it's Knit a Rainbow and the Knit a Rainbow sweater, and a totally not my pattern is called Rainbow Mountain. So this is called the Rainbow Mountain by Lucinda Iglesias, and it's a very fun pattern to do, very intuitive. The lace is very easy. There's written instructions and lace instructions. The only thing is this pattern is written for superwash merino. And when you block superwash merino, it grows a bit, right? So it gets a little bit longer, it gets a little bit looser. And I'm hoping that that happens with the mohair, but what is actually happening is I need to add repeats to the pattern because the yarn that this is written for, which we do have at Do You Knit, is the Merino Cloud, and this is the mohair. So I'm adding a couple extra repeats and I'm writing down what I'm doing. So if you wanted to make a beautiful shawl like this in these beautiful colors, then you will be able to do that for you too. So that's the first whip that's almost completed. And then the next thing I started a very while ago, and it's called the Fable Sweater. And all of these things that I'm working on, I will put links to the patterns in the description box below, so you can go in there and click on those, okay? So this is the Fable Sweater, and I am knitting this in, this is Moondrake, this is her merino linen, and I believe I'm gonna use 3 skeins, and of course, oh here, I have the pattern. I thought I was gonna be a little bit more prepared than I am, but I wasn't. So it's called Fable. It's gonna be really hard to see here because it was done in a light color, but hopefully. So you could do short sleeves or 3/4 sleeves. I'm definitely doing 3/4 sleeves because I am going to live in this. Knitting on this pattern has been heavenly for my fingers. It's cool to the touch, so even when it's really, really hot out, my hands don't get sweaty. It's going to be a nice, substantial sweater. I loved the way the pattern has been written so far. There are short rows. This is not a beginner pattern, but it's a very, very well written pattern. And I can't wait. I split for the sleeves. So I split for the sleeves, and I've just done, about 2 inches here. And so I have a bit of ways to go on this, but I'm really looking forward to getting back to this. And I'm not really in a rush because I'm gonna wear this all winter. I'm going to wear the heck out of this. The yarn is it's spectacular. And once again, I get my yarn at Do You Knit because I work there. So this is another whip. Hopefully I'll get that finished, the Fable. And then the last thing that's going on with me right now is my sweater, my own design called the Sherwood Sweater. That is going into testing. So the testers have been chosen, and I'm going to send them the pattern tonight. So that will be coming out in July 29th, or no, August 1st. August 1st is when it's gonna come out. I'll show it to you. You've seen it on my Instagram, but here it is. Isn't she pretty? And I'm also going to make another version of this without the color work. And the reason why I want to do that is not everybody wants to do color work. And I am actually really excited to have a sweater that is V-neck, which is my favorite. It's most flattering on me because I happen to be larger in the chest. And this pattern is actually knit from the bottom up. So this is going to testing tonight. I'm very excited and so thrilled about everybody and this yarn is Polka Dot Sheep. This is their Stumptown DK. I loved working with this yarn. This yarn was fantastic. And I've worn it a couple times and I haven't had any issues with anything. And of course, the bottom is Spin Cycle and it's in Verba Volant. So I absolutely love that sweater. I'm gonna make another one in Moondrake. Moondrake has, I don't have the yarns in my knitting closet and it's all the way over there, so I'm not gonna go get it. But it's called the Sherwood Sweater. I have to take a sip. Do you guys like Fresca? It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I absolutely love Fresca. It's so refreshing. So the reason why it's called the Sherwood Sweater, some people thought because it was green that I was calling it the Sherwood Sweater, which totally fits. But my sister actually suggested when I was on Ravelry and saying, what the heck am I gonna name this sweater? She suggested it. My parents grew up in the same town, in a little town called Greene, New York, in Shenango County, in upstate New York. And my great-grandfather, George Raymond, he owned the hotel in the town, and it was called the Sherwood. And so that's why it's called the Sherwood. And when the pattern is written, I'm gonna put a little story in there. I think it's kind of important, you know. I've been part of the design process where I have churned out patterns and patterns and patterns, you know, back in the early 2000s. And that was wonderful. I got to stay home with my kids, and you know, it was a challenge and interesting to me to be able to receive a yarn and say, okay, what am I going to make with this? Or the company would say, we need a cable button down. And so I would do, you know, a cabled cardigan with that yarn. And it was wonderful. It was so great to do. But now that I'm a little bit older and I'm self-publishing my patterns, I actually really, really love the stories behind the patterns, right? Like, why am I knitting this sweater and what does it mean to me? Because it all means something, right? Everything has a story, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna come on here and tell the stories of the things that I'm doing and reasons why I picked yarn for other people's patterns. And I'm really excited to be able to share it with you, and I hope you're excited too. Leave me a comment so I can comment and interact with you again. The story of Knit a Rainbow is, I think I've said it a million times, but if you're new, my mom was diagnosed with very aggressive cancer in January of 2019. And she was in and out of the hospital. And this one time, when she was in the hospital, I was knitting, and I was knitting all these different things for other people. We had friends that had baby, and someone asked, if I can find it, I'll stick it in here. But someone asked me to knit a sweater for a hairless cat, and I did it. So, and it was funny, in the hospital, my mother, with every nurse that would come in, she would say, look at what my daughter's making. It's for a hairless cat. But then one day I was knitting the Julie's wrap, and my mom was asleep, and she woke up and she said, what are you making? And I said, oh, I'm making a wrap. And I was knitting it it was a semi-solid color. It was beautiful. It was gray with little like blips of chartreuse in it every once in a while. And she said, who's it for? And I said, it's for me. And she said, do you love that color? Which really was her way of saying, like, oh my God, Kimberly, don't knit a gray sweater, you know, when your mother's sick in the hospital. So she closed her eyes and she said, honey, when life is hard and days are gray, knit a rainbow. And so I returned the yarn and I got the happiest colors that I could imagine. Actually at Do You Knit, this is before I worked there, and I made Julie's wrap, and I absolutely love it. Every place I go, someone comments on it, and we've actually sold a lot of yarn for that pattern, and it was such a great pattern. I loved it. I loved knitting it, and so every time someone comments on it, I don't always have to tell the story of my mother, but I always get to think about my mother. And she, you know, she had a very short battle with cancer, and she ended up passing away in May of that year, 2019. And because she told me to do that, and because I'm a good girl and I do what my mom says, knitting kept me alive during the deepest, darkest, horrible grief days. And I have always been a really happy person. So this was really the first time in my life that I had experienced something that I couldn't bring myself out of. But what knitting did for me during those times was I still felt connected to my mother because she was always so proud of everything that I had done in the knitting world. And because I was using these spectacularly beautiful yarns from, you know, I had never knit with yarns like this before, that I was excited to get up in the morning and to knit, to see what I could make. And I was creating. And I guess the takeaway that I'm saying here is, even during COVID, I continued to work at the knitting store and, you know, and coming live and talking to everyone. And it was a wonderful thing. It was a wonderful thing to keep me going with the interaction with everybody, and being able to share my passion and share my joy for every single step of the process. I love everything about the fiber arts, and it's not just knitting. I crochet, I weave, I spin, and I'm planning on sharing all that here. So the process of creating I feel like I'm connected to what I'm supposed to be doing. So whether that for you is knitting or drawing or writing or running or walking or singing, playing an instrument, playing video games, don't forget what makes you happy. Don't forget to do the things that make you happy, because we are all supposed to be happy. Things happen to us, terrible things happen to us. But if we can come back to that place that brings us happy, that brings us joy, that's the reason why we're here. So thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I look forward to the next time that I come on, and I really look forward to your comments. If you can, leave me a comment and how you know me, or if you're a knitter, or what kind of crafter you are. And also, if you could hit that subscribe button and like the video, that would help me out too. So thank you so much. I look forward to spending more time with you. Bye.